We're instinctively. Get up. Get up. Oh.
Um. So, I'm. How do I want to say this? What was she wrong in her response? Th- Was that the time and place for that? Her birthday. Um. I have like things that I want to say, but I want to give y'all a chance to tell me what you observed off of your first reaction to seeing the clip. I mean, a lot of people feel like he was cheap. He didn't really respect her enough to do that in a more luxurious way. Some folks are saying it's the thought that count. What's y'all take on that?
I do agree that it's the thought that counts. And if you love somebody genuinely, it really shouldn't matter where you choose to get married. But in that specific circumstance, that definitely seemed to be something he did not think out at all. Like, I think the thing, I'm not put off by the location. I'm put off by the fact that there's a huge crowd. You're standing in line. You're like on one side of the barrier, and you are just like it seemed like a second thought. Um, so I don't know. It seemed just spur of the moment. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but it just did not seem like he put any thought into the thing, into the proposal. So I could definitely see why she would be bothered by that. As my husband would say, that is not the time nor the place. Uh, so, I mean, if McDonald's is your special place, do that for your partner, but at least pick a time that makes more sense, because that was crowded. You're standing in line, you're about to order your food, and I don't know, it just seemed off for a proposal. Like he couldn't have waited till they got their food and go outside or something. But and then the other aspect is taking into consideration what you know your partner would like. I imagine by her reaction, that is not something she cared about enough to associate with her proposal. So he probably should have done a bit more planning to consider what exactly she would have enjoyed. But I do hope that it didn't like break up the relationship, unless that was like a last straw situation type of deal. But obviously, I don't really know the ins and outs of their relationship. So I can't say for sure if, all that aspect. But yeah, for me, not my thing. I can understand why she acted like that. But I mean, if you do it well, maybe McDonald's is your place.
Coach.
Yeah, it wasn't enough context for me, man. I can't speculate on anything off of that short content that I just saw. Which you, I mean, again, I can't speak to anybody's mindset, but it's not enough context there for me to provide any input on it.
I saw a whole lot there. I ain't gonna hold you. And I could be wrong, but that's why opinions vary. Um, I see both sides. I think that he wanted the spectacle, right? He wanted this grandiose gesture. However, with that being said, there's a disconnect with him and her that I don't know if he's necessarily aware of. That goes beyond just the fact that she told him to get up and then she walked out. He's missing some stuff within that. I don't think anybody is upset with someone going out of their way to say, look, this is what I see here in you. I think you will be a great wife. And nobody in his position is just going to sit up here and pull out a ring if you ain't already have it, or you didn't know exactly when you were going to do it and how you were going to. I think he did the best he could with the situation that he was afforded, right? Because everybody's not spending $40,000-$50,000. Everybody's not about to sit in the baseball stand or be at an NBA game and then have the camera pan over to you, and then, or the man is in the middle of the court or the football field and then he proposes. Everybody's not going to get that. I think he did the best he could with the situation, but I don't think he know her as well as he think he know her at all. And the way she looked at him, it was like she had this disdain on her face. She didn't even care. She didn't show no type of emotion other than anger, embarrassment. She didn't even feel like, oh, I didn't get the impression that, oh, this is the thought that counts. This is the love of my life confessing that he wants me and only me. I didn't get that. I got, you just sit here and you were cheap. You clearly don't realize that I probably don't like you like that. And why the hell would you do this to me on my birthday in front of all of these people in a McDonald's? Like I'm not good enough to have more investment in this. Like you could have took me to the park. You could have took me anywhere other than a McDonald's to do this. But even then, it still probably wasn't going to go the way he expected it to, whether or not he did that. But that's just my opinion. You know, it could have been a number of things. But I say I had this conversation once before with somebody, and I'm gonna yield the mic. And it was unrequited, where I poured more into them. And I said to her, the reason why you don't respect or have the same level of appreciation for my gesture versus that other person was because you don't look at me the same way that you look at the other person. That's why it's like, oh, it's just him just doing this. It don't really matter. It don't have the same impact, because if it was Chad or Tyrone, you would have been crying. You'd have been ready to risk it all for him. But because it was me, it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna put this on my mantle of all the heads, like you're a hunter collecting from all the victims that you done. It's just that. It's just a prize to you. It don't really have the same value. So I don't really necessarily think she into him like that. I don't. I yield the mic.
You got that from 11 seconds of the clip, man?
I mean, I'm looking at her face. I'm looking at how she could have said anything, bro. She could have said, let's take this out of the store. But what she did was she looked at him, she mean mugged him, told him to get up, and then she walked out on him. Nothing, it was nothing else. There was nothing else. There was no sign of compassion whatsoever. It was just like dismissed. At least if you're gonna decline his offer, do it more respectfully. You sleep with the dude. You don't move or treat your person like that in front of all them people. Even if you don't accept the gesture.
Yeah, that's a great point. I would just say using this as an opportunity to talk about, emotional intelligence and understanding other people's emotions. You put somebody in a situation and they don't know how to react, you can't control their response. So I think she probably did the best thing, which is not to embarrass that young man in front of the crowd, was probably to extract themselves out of that situation and then go handle it. So it just boils down to emotional maturity and security. Everybody doesn't handle situations the same. So, but you got to do what's best for you, and especially if you were thrown into that situation, you didn't ask to be put into it. So, it's definitely formal ways to go about educating yourself on how to propose. Maybe talking to her friends, finding out some things that she may be interested in. So he probably, I don't know what he did, but there's definitely a way to go about doing it, educating yourself and finding out the things that they like. So that way you can best plan for the outcome that you're looking for versus what you're not looking for.
I was trying to see if I could find the background to this particular story. So I was looking up like rejected proposal in McDonald's. This definitely happens a lot. I found a lot of different stories from over the years of people who had their partner propose to them either in a McDonald's or with McDonald's, and all those stories I saw ended in the rejection by the woman who was not happy for one of them said it was not the time or place. A couple of them were saying that they were upset that it was not thought out and that he didn't put any of their likes into consideration. One of them was saying that it seemed like completely unplanned and didn't put any work into it. So this definitely happens. And there were some in other countries too, so it's also not an American thing. But I just found it funny how this is a common thread that people just don't like to get proposed to in McDonald's. I also, just for that specific video, I do wonder how long they've been together. This is again why the context of the relationship really does make a difference, because she could have been rejecting his proposal just because she didn't feel they were together long enough, or she just wasn't happy with the relationship as it was. So I, just with how quick her proposal was, I mean, her rejection, I'm inclined to think that she just wasn't happy with the proposal overall. She didn't really like, I don't think it was the venue, just the venue. I think there were other things going on. But again, without knowing, I couldn't find her specific story. I just found other people's. But without knowing, I wouldn't be able to say that it was just because of McDonald's, but there definitely is a history of McDonald's being a not preferred location for wedding proposals. So hint, hint to anyone wanting to marry their spouses, if you're choosing McDonald's, maybe rethink that decision.
I honestly think it's a trend. I think these videos, because this ain't the first one I saw. I think when it all boils down to is these dudes think that this is the person, and it's not. Them women don't really be